Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that the greatest kings in history may not have made every decision on their own. What if some of the most powerful rulers on earth listened to voices that never appeared in royal portraits? Voices hidden behind closed doors, bound by secret oaths, mysterious symbols, and absolute loyalty. Throughout history, stories of secret societies have captured people's imagination. Some are supported by historical records. Others exist somewhere between fact and legend. But one thing is certain: powerful groups operating in secrecy have existed for thousands of years, and many of them stood surprisingly close to the centers of power. Tonight, we're stepping into that hidden world. Long before modern governments and intelligence agencies, influence often traveled through private circles. These groups weren't always secret because they were plotting against kingdoms. Sometimes secrecy protected religious beliefs. Sometimes it guarded valuable knowledge, and sometimes it simply made their members more powerful. One of the earliest examples comes from the ancient world. In Greece, the Eleusinian mysteries welcomed only those who completed sacred initiation rituals. Participants included ordinary citizens, philosophers, and even rulers. They promised never to reveal what happened during these ceremonies. More than 2,000 years later, historians still don't know exactly what took place inside. That silence has become one of history's greatest mysteries. Centuries later, another organization would become surrounded by even greater legends. The Knights Templar began in the early 1100s as a small military order, tasked with protecting Christian pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. At first, they were poor. In fact, their original seal showed two knights sharing a single horse, symbolizing humility. But that wouldn't last. Over the next 2 centuries, the Templars built one of the most sophisticated financial networks the medieval world had ever seen. Pilgrims could deposit money in one city and withdraw it hundreds of miles away using written documents. Kings borrowed from them. Nobles trusted them. Even the Pope granted them extraordinary privileges, allowing the order to answer only to him. Their castles stretched across Europe and the Middle East. Their wealth grew beyond imagination. With wealth came influence, and with influence came fear. One ruler, King Philip IV of France, owed the Templars enormous debts. In 1307, he ordered the arrest of hundreds of members. They were accused of heresy, blasphemy, and shocking secret rituals. Under torture, many confessed. Historians today believe many of those confessions were unreliable. The order was dissolved, its property seized, and many of its leaders executed. Yet their sudden disappearance gave birth to endless legends. Some claimed the Templars escaped with vast treasures. Others believed they protected sacred relics or secret knowledge. No convincing evidence has ever confirmed these stories, but the mystery refuses to disappear. While Europe debated the fate of the Templars, another secretive organization was making rulers across the Middle East and beyond look over their shoulders. The Nizari Ismailis, often called the Assassins in medieval European accounts, operated from heavily fortified mountain strongholds. Their enemies described them as masters of stealth who carried out carefully planned political killings against powerful leaders. Over time, dramatic tales exaggerated their methods and motives. Modern historians have shown that many popular stories were embellished by later writers. Even so, their reputation became so powerful that kings and generals respected the possibility that hidden enemies could strike when least expected. Sometimes the greatest weapon wasn't violence, it was fear. Centuries later, Europe witnessed the rise of organizations built around philosophy, charity, and personal development rather than warfare. Freemasonry emerged from traditions connected to medieval stonemasons before evolving into a worldwide fraternity. Meetings were private. Members used symbolic rituals and recognized one another through signs and ceremonies. Because many influential politicians, scientists, military officers, and businessmen joined Masonic lodges, speculation quickly followed. Some people believed Freemasons secretly controlled governments. Historians, however, have found no credible evidence that the fraternity ruled nations from the shadows. Its influence came from networks of powerful individuals, not from a hidden world government. The distinction matters. Influence and control are not the same thing. Throughout history, people have often confused access with absolute power. The same pattern appears again and again. Whenever a group becomes wealthy, exclusive or mysterious stories grow around it. The less outsiders know, the more imagination fills the gaps. The Rosicrucians were another example. Beginning in the early 17th century, mysterious manifestos described a hidden brotherhood devoted to wisdom, science, and spiritual knowledge. Whether such an organization truly existed in the form described remains debated. Yet the idea inspired generations of thinkers and helped shape European intellectual culture. Even today, secret societies continue to fascinate us. Why? Because they touch one of humanity's oldest questions: who really holds power? History teaches us that influence is rarely visible. Advisors financiers, generals, religious leaders, merchants, scholars, and trusted friends have always helped shape the decisions of kings and emperors. Sometimes their names are remembered. More often, they disappear into the background while rulers receive all the credit or all the blame. The truth is often more complicated than conspiracy theories suggest. No single hidden society controlled every king or every empire. Different groups gained influence in different places and different eras. Some protected religious traditions. Some expanded financial networks. Some pursued political goals. Others became legendary precisely because so much about them remains unknown. The real mystery isn't whether one secret society ruled the world. It's how much history is shaped by people whose names never appear in the headlines of their time. As archaeologists uncover forgotten ruins, historians translate ancient manuscripts, and new evidence comes to light. Our understanding of these hidden brotherhoods continues to evolve. Every discovery reminds us that history still holds countless unanswered questions waiting beneath the surface. Perhaps the greatest secret isn't hidden in a vault or buried beneath an ancient castle. Perhaps it's the realization that history has always been far more complex than the stories we learned in school. If you enjoyed uncovering one of history's greatest mysteries and want more fascinating stories backed by real history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Bat Talvik Stories, and turn on notifications, because the next forgotten chapter of history might change everything you thought you knew.